All right, everybody, welcome to the Young Adult Diary Podcast. I'm your co-host, Dawson Poling.
I am Tom Jing. Today we have
Noah Lewis.
Noah Lewis is a longtime friend. I love this man so much. Noah, can you give us a little background on yourself?
Okay, yeah, well, first off, thank you for having me. I am stoked to be here. Quick background on me. I am a dad, I am a husband, I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I like to get outside. I like to play sports. Normal guy. Been watching the NBA playoffs.
Dude, it's been good.
It's been very, very good.
Pacers, right?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely
good.
Pacers.
Good.
Just a normal guy, young adult guy that is trying to figure out how to make sense of the world. So, just a normal guy.
Yeah. Now, what do you think is, and this can be more personal or more just like for what you see other people doing, but like what is a problem or issue that young adults come across or that you have come across that you're just passionate about, kind of?
That's a super good question. I think, and there's a lot of different ways I could go with this. I think that the biggest problem that I see young adults face is the one around story and identity, purpose, meaning, just like what is the story that I'm living out? And so the way I kind of separate it out is there's one sort of big true story, and then there's all of these false stories or false narratives that we could be living into. And pretty much through the media, social media, just TV, YouTube, just regular conversations with folks.
even this podcast.
Even this podcast.
But
there's a lot of
false. Be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of false narratives, false stories that are getting pushed on us, and they've got just enough good in them that they can sometimes appear to be believable. And then we start to like live into these narratives and live into these stories because we think that in the end they're going to be really good for us, and then they fail and they're not good for us. And so I think just kind of figuring out what is the true story of my life, where do I actually find purpose, where do I actually find meaning, is really hard nowadays. So
yeah. Can you give us some examples of yourself growing up and kind of how you struggled with purpose, identity, and just like some different areas that you personally?
Yeah, so that's honestly been a struggle for my entire life. So I was adopted when I was 5 days old. My biological parents were in and out of prison for drug use, illegal drug use, firearm possession, all sorts of things. So I was adopted when I was 5 days old.
Have you ever met them, by the way?
I have not met them.
Okay.
I used to want to meet them, and just like, I think I'm not opposed to meeting them, but I don't know, like, just like life is busy, and that's like number 19th on my priority list. That might sound bad, but like that's like 19th on my priority list. So I'm not opposed to it, but like some adopted people have this sort of like burning thing in them of like, I gotta meet my bio parents, and I don't have that. I'm not against it, but it's just not like a burning desire of mine.
If they reach out to you today, would you meet up with them?
Would I meet up with them? I think so.
If they reach out to you today and said, hey Noah, this is your bio parents. Let's go have some coffee at Oakenby.
Oh my gosh, at Oakenby. Only if Dawson's girlfriend's there giving us free coffee, then I would definitely do that.
You have to tip her. That's
yes.
how
I would do that.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
She's 25% tip.
I sometimes get in trouble.
Okay, well then maybe we won't do that. Either way, I think I would probably say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if the opportunity just like fell from the sky, I would do it. But yeah, like, so adopted when I was 5 days old. My parents are very, Dawson knows, Caucasian.
Very Caucasian.
And so
Mr. Lewis, great guy.
Yeah, great folks, but very, very white. just to kind of put it bluntly. And so, the only reason that I bring that up is because that kind of plays into some of the identity thing. I have been told very many times, Noah, you are the whitest black guy that we know. And I'm like, well, it is what it is. So I've kind of struggled with the, like, are you just a white kid in a black skin body? Like, is that, or like, are you, so I feel like I was like too black for the white kids, but too white for the black kids. Just like didn't really fit in, or didn't feel like I fit in super well. So that kind of caused some identity issues, I think. And then another thing is I grew up in the church, actually was baptized by Scott Poling. Shout out
Scotty P.
Yes, shout out Dawson's dad. Just like I was a church kid, like all of the things. So like Vacation Bible School, Awana, Christian radio, church camp, like all of the stereotypical church kid stuff. Here's a story.
Yeah.
Here's a story. This is how I became a Christian. I was like 6 years old, and I was in like kindergarten, and I called a kid a punk. Just like I called it, when you're a kindergartner, that's a big deal.
That's a swear word.
Yes. So that's a 4-letter word for a kindergartner.
Okay.
So I called this kid a punk, and I was at this Christian school where like you had to put your nose on the wall if you did something bad. So I'm like, I'm not even joking. So I was told to like you got to put your nose on the wall. So I'm like, I put my nose on the wall, and I had to take this note home with my mom to my mom and dad. Like Noah did this, and this. He got in trouble. And anyway, so I remember I'm sitting down on the bench in our living room, and I'm just like in tears. I'm like, I am a mess. I'm a sinner. I'm going to hell. And at that moment, I was just like, I need the Lord. And so I like prayed and I accepted the Lord into my life, and I became a Christian right then and there. But then because I did all of the Christian things, I got really good at playing the game. Like, you guys know the game when I'm talking about when I say the Christian game,
yes.
Just like
the church every Sunday,
yes.
The get involved in every Bible study group.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In public, you're very Christian, but
yes.
in private, you're
just living a normal.
Okay, yeah. So you guys know. So yeah, that's what basically my whole up through high school testimony is like I'd go to youth group, go to church camp, Christian schools, like just knew all of the Bible verses, knew like, okay, in the worship song, this is the point where you're supposed to close your eyes and like raise up your hands. Like
bridge, it's always
it's always the bridge, which is interesting. Like, why does nobody put their hands up like just at the beginning of the song? Like, is it like it I don't, to me that feels robotic. Like, once it gets to this point, raise your hand.
The beat drop. The beat drop.
The thing I don't like sometimes is when the worship leader is just like, if you feel the Lord in the room, raise your hands.
Yeah, it's like, is it the Lord, or is that the bass?
No. Well, it's just like, okay, it's not bad to raise your hands, but like, if I don't raise my hands, now I guess I'm not feeling the Lord.
Yes.
And I'm just like, like, don't tell me how to live my life.
Yes. Have you guys had that experience when you're at like a church service and everybody's like super into, maybe this is just me, maybe I'm tattling on myself, it's fine. But like everybody's raising their hands, everybody's super into it, and you're just like, I'm like not here right now. Like am I the only one that's like not feeling anything right now?
I can feel that.
And you start to think like, am I crazy? Like what's going on? But anyways, so I got really good at playing the church game. Like I have a big family. Many of my siblings weren't good at it. Like they'd get in trouble all of the time. But like I was pretty good at it. Like I just like knew what to do. I was a rule follower. I was just like a straight A student. Just did really well. Like I was pretty good. Like I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but I was pretty good at, like we said, the game. And the problem with it is that it was just a game. Like it wasn't real to me at all. And the second that I would leave church and then go hang out with my other friends from basketball that weren't Christians, I would act completely different. And so like I was a big chameleon. Like with one friend group I would act like this, and then with another friend group I would act completely different. And that's something that I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of people kind of have had that be part of their story. And so yeah, like it was really just a game. I would put on a mask depending on which group of people I was with. Say all of the right things at church, so all of the church friends could be like, "Wow, this is a good Christian boy." But then I'd go home and just be like wildly addicted to pornography, and that's like a massive part of really like my whole high school and even into college, just like struggling with pornography and just like living a very sinful life, and but then showing up to church on Sunday with a smile on my face, like God is good,
Yep,
you know.
And just the bridge comes and the hands
Yeah,
go
and
up.
the bridge comes and the hands up, and it's like that's pretty much what my story was. But again, I found my identity in, okay, let me just impress whoever I'm in front of. Like, it doesn't have to be genuine. Like, I don't have to have a genuine relationship with God.
Yeah.
As long as I can play the part and like make everybody think that I'm cool. But then when I leave here, I'm gonna also want these people to think I'm cool, and then these people to think I'm cool. So like basically like whatever any group that I was with wanted me to do or act like, that's how I would act. And so yeah, I kind of really like struggled with like, who am I actually? That was pretty much my whole entire high school experience.
Yeah.
I feel like this game that you're talking about is something that many kids who grew up in a Christian home struggles with, right? Because, you know, let's just take Dawson for example. Any of the Poland kids.
Pastor's kids.
Exactly.
Pastor's kids.
It's
All
pastor
good
kids.
things, all good things.
It's pastor kids, right? Or, you know, if your family's been at a church for a long time, you grew up in the church, right? What you do reflects your family, or in a way you think reflects your family, and there's a reputation that you have to live up to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't accept Christ till I was sophomore year, junior year in high school. Like, I don't have to play the pretend game, you know?
Right.
Like, but, like, for you guys who, kind of like you said, you accepted God when you were 6. Everybody in the church watched you grow up.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
even though, of course, you're going to experience different things in life, you're going to change in life.
Right.
But people still expect you to act like this perfect Christian boy
Right.
who just came out of Awana.
Right. Literally.
No, so
Yeah.
you, like, I feel like kids are forced to play the game.
Right. And so what happens is people go in my experience, people go one of two ways. They become in that environment, they become the perfectionist that's like, all right, I'll just do it. And it's like, but it's fake, and it's just kind of performance because they have their identity not in God, but in how other people in the church, in good people in the church that are trying their best. Sometimes they don't always have the best ways of going about it, but good people in the church, they're trying their best to, you know, kind of get their approval, and so they go the perfectionist route. Or other people say, nah, screw this, and they go hard the other way, where it's just like, nah, I'm gonna live however I want to live, and I want nothing to do with that. And I, to be honest, feel like both of those are dangerous.
Yeah, they definitely both are. And I want to go back real quick, because you said pornography was a huge struggle of yours throughout high school and early college. Why do you think that is the case for so many guys, and maybe girls too? I'm not really sure, but why is that the case for so many people? Like, just that struggle.
That's a great question. Why? Why is it? I think there's a lot of different reasons why. For me, I guess let me speak for myself. I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know everybody's story, but for me, and I'll be super honest and vulnerable. For me, I have always dealt with rejection issues. And so one of the ways that makes me, even to this day, that I'm still like, I'm not out of this. I don't struggle with pornography, thanks be to God today, but I still struggle with just like feeling rejected sometimes. And so pornography and really just sex in general is a place for me where I could feel acceptance of just like, oh my gosh, like this girl, this model wants me. Even though, again, it's just completely like fake, it's not real. But for that like split second, it's just like so it's both. Like some people think that it's just, oh, we're just horny boys that are, 17 years old and that's all it is. And that's part of it. Like that's real. But on top of that, it's also like there's like an emotional thing of like in this moment I feel something. Like I feel like I am important or I don't know. So I think that that's a big part of it. And then once you experience that, and then when you have other hard moments in life, it becomes like you're training your brain to say...
It's a drug at that point.
Yeah, at that point, and especially when you are experiencing really hard moments in life, you have trained your brain that in hard moments, this is where I go to just like feel safe, feel okay, get some rest. Okay, I am all right. Like things are gonna be okay. Which again goes back to the identity piece. It's like I need something else to validate me to feel okay, even if it's fake, even if it's just like a drug. And I think that that's the same reason for a lot of folks. It's I don't have to do any work, but I can still feel sexually desired in that moment in my mind. And so like that's a very addicting thing, I think, especially for I can only speak for men, but I think even women, but specifically men, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I read something that says when you watch pornography, your brain releases this dopamine.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Right, and I think that dopamine's what guys or girls they chase after. Right? It's like because you only feel it for a short split second. Right, and then you go back to it. You're like, man, that felt good. Right. Like you're chasing after that. That feeling is what's addictive. Right. So
yeah. No, that's real. And so like my entire high school, that was like a sort of like a hidden thing that just like nobody knew about it. I would run to that for identity. I would run to validation from people at church for identity. I'd run for validation from people on social media for validation and identity. So it's just like it's all kind of the same thing, but just getting played out in different ways of my life. And so yeah, that was my high school experience. Go ahead, you got a question.
It was more so like that was your high school experience, but what is your experience now with your identity? Like is it all like I'm perfect now or I'm better now but still searching? What's kind of as someone who's 27,
yeah.
27, whoa,
yes.
I thought you were 26.
No, dude, I'm 27. I've got 3 more years till the hill and 4 more years till I'm over the hill. So I'm gonna enjoy these last few years of being a young guy, I guess.
Being a young adult.
Yes, being a young adult. I can't, in 4 years, I can't be on this podcast.
Dude, in 4 years, you will not be allowed to be on this podcast. Yeah, our cutoff is, we should have a,
you should have a cutoff.
We haven't formed a cutoff yet,
but do we have a cutoff?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you guys have like 7 years to make this podcast
I guess
everything you want.
Yeah, we'll start a mid-adult podcast. Yeah. Middle-aged adult podcast.
Are you middle-aged in your 30s? I feel like middle-age is 45.
Dude, I feel like 30s when you hit your prime. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Like 30s when you hit your prime. Like you're figuring things out in your 20s. 30s is when you know what you're doing.
Physically, you're in your prime and you're 20s somewhere.
Yeah, like mid-20s.
Mid-20s, you're in your prime. Though I was jumping on a trampoline the other day and, well, dude, I'm sore from jumping on a trampoline.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. No, and so we might get into this later, but I fully agree. Like, that is part of the issue. You're not supposed to have arrived in your 20s. Like, your 20s are not supposed to be the best. Like, if you peak in your 20s, to me, that's freaking sad. Like, that's...
I agree.
Like, you don't peak... To all of the young adults listening, don't peak in your 20s. Like, grind as a young adult. Get better. Learn lessons. Like, all of the things so that you can eventually peak down the road. Like, we're still young.
Yeah, I always say like 20s is the time to make mistakes. 20s is the time to try and make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, like things are not going to work out in your 20s, but that's okay. This is the time to do it.
Exactly.
Right? Like Noah already has a family, has kids. He's got more responsibility.
Yeah.
But like
I gotta have calculated.
He's
Calculated
got
risk.
have calculated mistakes. I feel like I
He's
don't.
got a whole mortgage.
Yeah, I feel like I don't. I feel like I can lose
mouths to
everything.
feed.
You know, I feel like I can lose everything and get back up, and I'm okay because I like. There's no one that depends on me. Like you do. You have a wife and kid. That
and that's a
on you.
whole other dynamic. But to go back to your question around, that's how I was in high school. What is it like now? What's it like now? So on the identity piece, what I have learned is that we're all young adults. We're all searching for identity, purpose, belonging. What's the meaning of my life? Like, can I have any significance? And what I have found is that as a Christian, I don't believe that I have to or even can find any good identity. I think I have to receive my identity from God, because if I'm chasing for an identity, it's never going to work. Like, I have to go to something that is just, here's what the truth is. It doesn't ever change. I'm going to give it to you. And this is this is how God is. Here's the truth. I'm going to give it to you. Take it. I want you to have it. It's got the meaning of life. It's got your purpose. It's got who I am, what I'm all about. It's got who you are and how I want you to live. It's got all of that in it. The Bible does. And so I take that and I open up my Bible and I receive my identity from God, as opposed to me having to go out and get my identity. Because if I have to go out and get my identity, like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, so to me, I'm like, I can't even get across the town without pulling up my GPS to figure out how to get there. Like I need help. So like when it comes to identity, like there's no way I could just find my identity. It had to be given to me. And so I think now that's one of the big things that I have learned, is that go back to God. Go back to God. Go back to God. What does He say that your identity is in, Noah? Like, you don't have any, I don't have any responsibility in the morning to wake up and go find my identity. I can't do that. I wake up in the morning and I have to receive my identity. Does that picture make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But to your question, like, is that still a struggle? Heck yes, it's still a struggle, because, and back to the lies that I think that young adults believe is, okay, so I receive my identity from God, but you've got all of these other lies that are saying, like, no, this is how you can find identity, this is how you can find identity, this is how you can find identity, and the lies are like just enough appealing that, like, at least me, because I'm a weirdo, can feel sort of like a squirrel where it's like, ooh, and it's just stay on the path that God has for you. He's got a path for you, but then you see all of these other like shiny diamonds that you could just like turn to. That's been my experience. What is your experience been?
Yeah, dude, I have bad shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, that's
bad real. Shiny. There's so many things. I'm just like, ooh, that's cool. And I am just like, I want to do all of them, and I'm just like, am I supposed to be this? Am I supposed to be that?
Yep.
And then I end up just kind of like collapsing on myself, and then I'm asking the question, I'm just like, what is my identity? You know, like, I'm not finding this, I'm not finding in that, like, that failed, like, and like, you get in your mid-20s, and again, it's like, you see people who have, quote-unquote, peaked, and you're like, well, I haven't peaked.
Right.
So I'm a failure.
Right.
You know, and then your identity's shot, you know, and, like, very insecure and everything, but the receiving identity, that's a really good way to put it. I have not heard it.
Yeah, because if you... So say there's 1,000 other things that you can go chase to get your identity in. It could be girls, it could be money, it could be your career, it could be, it could even be a family, It could be a good cause that like it could be a genuine good thing. Like I want to stop slavery. I want to stop, like child slavery. That's something I want to put an end to. Like that's a good thing. But if you put your identity in that and you chase after anything and put your identity in it, then you're not doing it from a place of love. You're not doing it just because you enjoy it and you desire it. Like now you're doing it because you have to have it, or else you're a failure, you're a loser, you're all of these things. And then that's when you get into the negative self-talk, and it's awful.
Yeah, it's super tough.
I might even say that putting your identity in something like that is creating an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of following God and being Christian as your identity, you're chasing after these things, the material things, like you said, girls, like all these things are of the world. Right. So it's almost like you're putting something else above God. That new identity is what you're chasing above God.
Right. And I think that there's a direct correlation between, because you talked about the order, like there's God first, and then there's everything else. But when something goes above God, that puts a lot of freaking pressure on that thing.
Yeah.
So like if you put everything on God, God can handle that because God's God. But if you put everything on, for example, a girl, like that's gonna be pretty tough. Like if it's gonna be tough on you and it's gonna be tough on that girl.
Yeah, it's
like
just
she's like
unrealistic pressure.
Right. And that's something I've even learned in marriage is just like I am a better husband when I don't have my identity wrapped up in Tay, because now I'm not putting all of this pressure on Tay of like, okay, I need you to be this way. You've got to be this way. You've got to validate me. You've got to make me feel better about myself. Like all of these things. And like, I think when I've been like that in the past, she gets to the point where she's just like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, you gotta get out of the house, bro. and like that's real though. Like and so I think to what you were saying, if God is not first, something else is going to be, and that something else is not going to be able to sustain you. And so I think there's a direct correlation between that and anxiety, because like why would you not be anxious when the thing that you're hoping for is kind of a crummy number one? Like a career is a terrible number one. I would be anxious if my number one was my career. I would be anxious if my number one was my wife. Like, as awesome as I think she is, I would be pretty anxious because, like, I don't think that Taylor would leave me. I hope. I don't think so. But like, I can't trust in her the same way that I can trust in God. Does that make like?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like you could say that about anything. Like, you can't trust in your career the same way you trust in God.
The things of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, nothing in this world is going to satisfy you. No material things, no, career, no job, no fancy things you buy is ever going to satisfy you.
Right.
Right? You're always going to chase after the next thing.
Right.
Like, this is not, this, you have put this as number one, and it wasn't enough.
Right.
Now, what are you chasing next?
Right.
What else can be your number one?
Right.
And nothing's ever gonna be.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing's ever gonna satisfy you.
Right. Something I find interesting is the idea that we have as a society progressed through technological advances like so much compared to say 100 years ago, to the point where you would think we would be like on this utopia of like peak happiness because of like how
You're so right, yeah.
Like life,
we can communicate with people across the globe.
Like, right. And so like life has gotten to be so good, quote unquote, and yet still people are not happy, which should should trigger something in our mind to make us think that like just because life gets quote unquote better, like just because like you can do things better, like we've achieved success, that doesn't actually mean people are going to be happier, to me that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like we are not happier as a society than we were 100 years ago, even though we've had way more successes in terms of just like technology and advances and things like that. But it doesn't work for happiness.
Yeah, dude, that's why like the internet is such a cool thing, It is amazing. Like, social media is awesome, and like it does provide so much happiness and aspects, but it also created this vast landscape of like comparison, which is kind of what we're talking about, comparison identity. And so now I feel like it's no longer just looking at the people who are close to you, like your neighbors and stuff.
Mhm.
And when technology came out, it's like you can see someone who's in Dubai.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
it's like, why am I not living in Dubai?
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's it. Like it's just the lie of social media to think like you don't know anybody like really from their social media. Like I am waking up, going on social media, and I do it too. Like I'm not even saying like, oh, everyone on social media does this and I don't do it. I do it too. You see what I want you to see on social media. But like you don't know what's actually going on in my life. Like, and I'll be vulnerable right now. Like I will post something on social media that makes me look a certain type of way that I want you to think. But the people that are closest to me, they know like, oh yeah, Noah is struggling in this way. Noah had to, like, I just texted some friends yesterday, like, okay, this is an area I am really struggling in. I need you to pray for me. But like people on social media, I'm not like, they don't get that. Like
Right.
you don't know that. You don't know when I just had a crazy argument with Taylor and we're screaming at each other and like, oh my gosh, how, like, are we gonna be able to do this? Like you don't know that. And so, and I feel like everybody has different like things where it's like their life is great in some aspects and their life sucks in other aspects. But you pretty much see like the areas of their life that are great, and then you turn off your phone, set down your iPhone, and are like, damn, my life kind of sucks. but everybody's life kind of sucks in some ways.
Social media is only the best.
Right.
It's the best of the best. It's the best what that person has to offer.
Right.
So
And to me, if as long as we can name that, that's okay. Like to me, I don't think it needs to be the worst of the worst. Like I think I personally, my opinion is that it should be the best of the best. I don't really want to post my failures on social media. And that's why I think young adults need close community of people to where they can be honest about the worst of the worst. Because like, I don't know, like social media is probably never going to be completely authentic. Even the folks that are like authentic are like not. Like they you know that like fake authentic thing that you do that's just like you're almost being authentic for like the likes. You're almost doing something. I'm trying to think of an example. Like you'll almost I don't know if I have a good example. Like you'll say something that's just like kind of like, wow, that guy's being really honest and vulnerable and kind of authentic. That seemed cool.
Gotcha.
But like you said it in a way that like still kind of makes you look good, even like, you know what I'm talking about.
It's got enough truth. It's got enough truth for people to believe it.
Right, it's got enough truth to where it's like, okay, like look at you being authentic, but it's like, but are you really though?
But the subtle little thing is just to kind of boost an ego.
Yeah,
possibly.
Literally, yeah. And so it's just like that's I don't think social media will ever be completely authentic, and I think that that's okay as long as you have people around you where you can be like, yeah, the last couple of weeks have sucked.
Yeah.
Like I think every single young adult needs, probably every person needs, but especially young adults that are in this phase of like, we're just trying to figure it out. To be honest, most of us have no idea what the heck we're doing. Like, if we could just be honest, like, most of us don't know what we're doing. We're figuring it out in real time. I feel like we especially need to have at least a couple people in our lives where we can just be like, yeah, the last couple weeks have sucked. Like, really bad. Because, like, that's not happening on social media. That has to happen in, like,
it has to happen somewhere.
Right.
I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and we were talking about how, during college, you had all these friends, right? And obviously in college, all your friends are from different places. And after college, your friends are going to go different places, right? And, you know, once college graduated, the people that I talked to, like, on a day-to-day basis probably went from, like, 100 to 5.
Wow.
You know? Honestly. And like, to be honest with you, I was okay with that. I was just talking with her the other day. I was like, you know, like, I don't feel the need to, like, text 100 people a day. You know, like, I just want a couple people that I can be genuinely honest to.
Right.
With, about. Right? Like, hey, I'm struggling here. Hey, work has not been going well.
Right.
Right? Like, just a couple people that can share the real you with.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, no, I was thinking before this podcast, if there was like a handful of things that I feel like have been very valuable for me that I think would be valuable for any young adult, the top of my list was, the very top of my list was God, like just faith in general. Like you need to have some sort of faith. Because if all that you have is just like this world and there's nothing like greater that you're living for,
That's sad.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Like that's really sad. And that's, I think, one of the lies that people believe is this world is all there is. You're just a body and a brain, and once you die, that's it. Like that's when people start not having a reason to get up in the morning. So God has to be like the main thing, point blank, that's it. But how do we grow in that? Like the next thing on my list that I thought of was community, like people. Yeah. You genuinely need people where you can, like you said, a couple people, doesn't have to be 100. Like I don't know how anybody stays honestly on top of 100 people. Like you can have 100 acquaintances.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can have 100 like deep, real friends.
Yeah.
But you need a couple people in community where you can just be like, life has been hard. This is an area that I'm struggling. Because like everybody struggles. Like I think we just need to normalize. Yeah. We just need to normalize the struggle, you know?
Mm-hmm. And for me, like when it comes to high school friends, I have like 2 to 3 high school friends that I will text a couple times a year. Because it's just like hard to keep up with them. Right. Like I'll text them a couple, or like they'll text me like college friends.
And what type of is it? Just like quick check-ins? It's probably not anything like real or deep, probably.
No, it's just like I best friends with them in high school, so I'm just like I love that person even though I don't talk to them a lot. Right. And I'm gonna text them, see how they're doing, maybe call something, you know, or like I see something on social media like a life update, I'm just like, oh, let me call them and like check it out. College friends, there's more college friends that like I'll like check in with, but that's kind of less of a check-in. That's more of like a dude, guess what just happened? Right. Type thing. Right. Which
those are cool too.
It's just like a like random
that's
call.
That's fine too.
You know, like it's just like the most odd text, like no context.
But do you feel like you have? And I'd be curious for both of you. Do you guys feel like you guys have folks that you could say like nothing is off limits? Like you would say like the highest high and like the deepest, darkest secret of your heart that you would just be able to just say. Do you feel like you guys have people like that?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Absolutely.
Dawson's thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it. Because I know there's... Yeah, I'd say there are some college guys. It's hard with them just because it's like, again, they're a couple states away. Right. And it's just different just because I don't get to see them like on a week-to-week basis, you know? But like... Here, I've had to kind of like regrow some friend groups, kind of. Yeah. Except for my boy Tom.
Let's go, Tom.
Tom.
Let's go.
He's been here.
I'm always here.
Tom
OG.
Jing.
I love
Tom Jing. Let's
go.
I
love Illinois.
Said no one ever.
Said no one ever. I love Illinois. Coming from living in Arizona, I love Illinois.
and said no and ever. But I think that that's an issue that I feel like a lot of people, young adults, maybe they just went to college, so they're in college right now, they're 18, 19, 20, and they're in college, and they might have left all of their friends growing up, and now they're at college, and it takes a while to grow those. Or you're the type of young adult that just graduated college a couple years ago, and now you've left college, and it's hard to build strong relationships after college, when because in college you're seeing people every single day, but then you leave and now you got to figure out job, and you're trying to build these relationships. And if you and so again, to bring this full circle, if you don't have anybody where you can just be like, yeah, this has been terrible, it's pretty lonely.
It's tough, I would say, right? For me, the people that we're talking about, the people who I can go to say those things, like people like Dawson, is the way I identify them, who they are, is, have they seen the worst of me? Have they seen the worst of me and is still with me?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's
and,
good.
And to be honest, those are accidental, right? It's accidental, right? We don't try to be the worst on purpose. Sometimes the worst just happens, and Dawson's there with me to witness it. If I lose it on something, right? My other friends, they're there. They witnessed it, but they still was with me and supported me. Right. That's how I know that hey, I can trust this person.
Right.
And they've stuck with me through the bad. Right. They're gonna
they didn't leave when things got hard.
They didn't leave when things got hard. When I flipped out over a bad week.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. I'd probably say for me, coming back here, it was hard to I've made some great friends coming back here after college, kind of starting new-ish type thing. And I'd probably say there's besides Tom, there's one other guy. I'm debating if I want to name drop him or not, but he was super open with me, and I was whoa, and I didn't meet him until after I came back, and I was just I feel like I can just share anything with this guy.
Yeah.
And we don't even talk on a super week to week basis. And well, no, I'd probably say we're in contact, but it's not I'm texting him every day. It's not I'm seeing him every day. He has a job, I have a job, and stuff. But I'm just if there's someone that I need to call or text, I might pick up my phone and call Ryan Dodge. But Ryan, I hope you listen to this.
Shout out Ryan.
I love you, Ryan. I love you.
Shout out Ryan.
Shout out.
No, that's good. That's good. I think I would encourage every single young adult, find your people. And if it's got to be different, if you've got to find new boys or new girls from 10 years ago, do it. Find people that are going to help you grow, help you get to where you want to go. You've got the same values. You've got to find your people. And again, if it's got to be different people, that's okay. Because and you'll probably get folks if you'll probably have people say, oh, you've switched up, and it's good, I should have switched up. I was a moron when I was 16 years old. I switched up. Yes, I switched up since the time I was 16. I need new friends, and I need to actually go somewhere with my life.
Yeah. Now, how does someone who feels they're kind of stuck in old friendships that they know it's oh, that's not the most healthy, or I used to be like that, but now I'm like this, what's a good way that person can be it's okay that I leave those people?
Yeah.
How does someone bend that corner and just be you know what, it's okay, I don't need to be with these people all the time.
Yeah.
Type thing. Do you have any?
Yeah, it's super hard. I have some ideas, but I don't think that there's any easy way. I think no matter what way you go about that, it's going to be hard, because we like community. We like feeling connected. We don't like not having that. But I think what we need to do, and this is more than just this conversation, we need to be honest. Like, we need to be, I feel like most of us are just not very honest. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of look in the mirror and sort of lie to ourselves and say, it's not that serious. It ain't that big of a deal. But we just need to be honest with ourselves and say, where am I right now? Where am I headed? Where do I want to go? And am I actually setting myself up to get there? Because like, and sometimes you can easily find those gaps between where I want to go and how my life is set up now. So for example, if you say, I would love to be married in 5 years and I'd love to have a family and kids and all of the things. But then you look at your life and you're like, but I have $6 to my name. I don't ever go out on dates, and everybody I'm hanging out with is just a bunch of bums that just want to go get drunk 4 times a week. Like that. Like your life is not the like. So you just have to be honest. Say yes. Like, this is my life situation. I don't want this. Mm-hmm. It's going to suck to have to cut some ties, but like, and they're gonna say you switched up on them, and you kind of did, and that's okay. It's gonna suck, but you gotta do it. Like, you have to do it. If you want to go where you think you want to go, you've got to do it.
You need to hang out with people who you want to become.
Yes.
You need to hang out with people who you want to become. I always said, like, if I'm the smartest person in the room,
you're in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong room. That's what, yes.
Like, for me, like, on the business side,
yep.
I'm always like, dude, if I'm the richest one in this room, I don't want to be here.
I
want to be the poorest guy in this room, so that way I can learn from people that are around me.
Right.
Like, how did they become successful? What did they do to get to where they are?
Which gets you into mentorship. Which
I was just gonna say mentorship.
Which I think again.
Just gonna say that.
Again, if we're talking young adults, that's what this pod is. Young adults. We are in our 20s. Let's just say this out loud.
Okay. All right.
We don't know what we're doing. Like, we're not supposed to. We are not supposed to have arrived. We're not supposed to know everything. Like, let's just have some humility to be like, relax. You don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay. And then just learn from other people that have been there, done that. Like, I don't know why we have this, like, weird sort of, like, I'm supposed to have it figured out thing. I think of that social media too. Like, you don't have to have it figured out. Go learn. Your 20s are for learning. Yeah, Go learn.
This past Sunday, maybe, I went over to my grandma's and they were like celebrating this guy who just got his master's in something, and my mom was just like, hey Dawson, like, these are some good guys that like could be mentors and everything. I was like, yeah. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm just like, I am so stupid. I could be getting so much smarter and so much more mature, and I have yet to find a mentor. And like, I feel like I'm just so stupid for that. I'm just trying to go off my own brains right now. You know, like, why am I not looking up to somebody and being like, and like, I don't think for me, I think it was just like being oblivious, and like, it wasn't like I'm not gonna get a mentor.
Right.
But
yeah,
like,
it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, no, but like, just this past Sunday, I was just like, the only reason I wouldn't get a mentor now is just ego.
Right.
Like, because like now I know I need one, and the only reason I wouldn't is because I'm gonna say I know better. So I think I need to hit up that guy I'm thinking about.
Yeah, this. If you were waiting for a sign to do it, here it is. Do it. And to every young adult listening, I would say the same thing. Like, find folks that are older than you, wiser than you, that have actually done something with their life. Like, we are so young. Like, I think that's the other thing is like, just that when you hang out with older folks, you realize that like even 45 is not even that old. Like, it's not that old. Like, just relax, like, just learn. Just like take the next 10 years and just learn. Yeah. Grind, learn, fail to your point, get up again and keep on learning.
Dude, this is great stuff. Okay, I have a question. You've been married for how long?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years and like 8 days.
Dude, I remember that wedding. That was crazy, dude. I love the song that you guys played when you were running down the aisle.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes, that was it.
For people listening, Noah.
She ain't messing with.
Noah played Gold Digger by Kanye West, and Noah's wife is a white woman.
Yes.
And it was very funny.
She went black and she did not go back. So that's how it happened.
That's the saying I've heard.
That's how it happened.
Okay, but.
So what's your question?
So my question
was that your question?
No, that wasn't my question. That wasn't my
What
question.
song did you play?
No,
We're coming near the end of our time.
No.
I've got a serious question.
For all the young adult men who are trying to get a wife.
Okay.
Well, I guess first they have to get a girlfriend.
Sure.
But
have aspirations to get married.
But have aspirations. What is like your secret sauce?
Secret sauce.
The secret sauce. The secret Noah sauce.
Give us the rizz. Give
Okay.
us the rizz.
Give us the rizz.
We want to know how to rizz.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's what I would say. Here's what I'll say. I know we're coming up on time, so let me just give you some rapid fire ones. Some quick rapid fire ones. So first things first, rizz is important. You should try to spit game. Spitting game is cool. It's fun. I still spit game with my wife.
Just to clarify.
Yeah,
just to
clarify.
Just to clarify.
You should spit game, but to be completely honest, more than your ability to spit game and have all of the rizz, I have found, and I don't want to stereotype or say a universal statement, many, not all, many, I would say most even, women have a deep desire for security. They like a consistent, I know I can depend on you, I know I can count on you, and that's just from a your mental health standpoint, that's from your physical health standpoint, your financial health standpoint. You are just somebody that I can count on, and you don't have to be perfect. No man is perfect. I'm not freaking perfect. But just somebody that's okay, that guy's got his crap in order type of a thing. And he's officially graduated from the little boy phase of I just want to party and get drunk and smoke weed and live in my mom's basement. He's gotten past that, and now he's gotten his he's on his feet and he's actually going somewhere. Once you get to that point, I think you are a better candidate for a husband. I think. Again,
yeah.
I that's just from my experience. So I would say that, and then the last two, and I'll make these fast. I would say somebody that's just willing to do the work on themselves. And what I mean by that is we all have, especially as men, we all have different insecurities, different things that we just don't like about ourselves. I would say, again, honesty. Get honest about those with other folks and work on your crap. If you've got addictions, work through those addictions. If you've got just things that you anger outburst, just work on your crap. And I would say if you do those things, you're heading in the right direction.
Okay. Nice. Good to know.
That's
That's
I can't promise that it'll work, but I think so. And in fact, I know there's a lot of girls that I hear from that are just where are all of the capable men to marry? There's a lot of girls that are just chomping at the bit for some guy. Not in a weird way. Maybe some of them. But there's a lot of girls that are just chomping at the bit for just a man to just step up and not be, 18 living with his parents and getting drunk every other night and just a guy that's you don't have to be Superman. Just a normal guy that's kind of funny, takes care of himself and could potentially help her with where she wants to go as well. It's not rocket science. There's a lot of girls out there that are chomping at the bit for that. At least that's what I hear.
I agree with that. I feel you just gotta go on, ask the girl for the number. You gotta go make that initial move.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I feel in today's society, there's such a weird concept of I don't know, like guys are like, oh, the girl should make the move, you know, like
That's stupid.
that's stupid.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
You know, there's another thing I also think is stupid. Guys should always pay for the dates.
Yes.
I don't know where there's this idea coming from that guys and girls should split on dates. I do not believe
Wait,
that.
can I tell you? I got a story.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I have a story. So this is something that I do. So my wife and I, we share a bank account. We're married, so we're like, my money's your money's my money. And so sometimes when we go out on dates, she's got a debit card, I have a debit card, but they're hooked up to the same exact account.
But you go for it.
But what I do is the waitress comes over with the check, and I awkwardly look at Tay, and I'm like, I got the last like 7. Can you pay for this one? And I'll make out.
You'll make that in front of the.
And she'll pull out her debit card and put it down. And the waitress always feels super awkward. But Tay said, like, I feel like this is kind of making you look bad. No, you should just stop doing it. So I've stopped doing that. But it's funny. Like, the waitress always gets kind of uncomfortable. Like, can you pay for this one? It's been like 7 in a row. She like reaches for it and puts it down. It's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, guys, if you really like a girl, do not split on a date. Okay,
Yeah.
she kind of like what Noah said. She's not gonna feel that security if you have to ask her to pay for dinner. Like she's gonna be like, this guy can't even feed me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Guys, Tom had some crazy rizz maybe a couple weeks ago. His girl was like at home or something, and he ordered Uber Eats for this girl.
Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
Uber Eats.
There you
Sometimes
go.
you just gotta make sure the shorty eats.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh. Yeah, dude, I respect the game. I respect the game. Wait, what did you get off of Uber Eats?
Oh, I don't even remember. I did tip the driver.
You did.
I did tip the driver.
Because I heard you don't tip. You don't tip baristas.
I don't tip baristas.
But you tip Uber drivers.
Uber drivers.
There you go.
You know.
So you're not a complete just degenerate.
I'm not a complete. Actually, I tipped at Oak and Bean the other day.
You did tip at Oak and Bean.
I tipped at Oak and Bean the other day. Dawson has a video of it.
I do. He tipped a cent.
There you go.
A cent.
There you go.
Custom. I did
After
a lot of
taxes, that's probably like half a cent.
work. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But I tipped. I felt some type of remorse that I should. You know.
Oh my gosh. Quick answer. Do you tip, Noah?
I do tip. I do
A
tip.
barista?
I do.
You do.
So I do, yes, at like Oak and Bean and like just like local coffee shops I do. I feel like Starbucks makes so much money that I'm like, do you need my tip? Like, especially in the drive-thru. If I go through the drive-thru, I'm not tipping. Like they flip it back to you and they're like, you want a tip? I'm like, no, not really. Or you know, do you guys, okay, here's a question. Do you guys like if it's one of those donations when they like round up for
No.
kids with cancer, do you guys donate to the kids with cancer?
See, I don't because I heard that it's a way for these big corporations to avoid taxes.
It's a tax write-off.
It's a tax write-off.
If you listen to podcast number, I forget, but Taylor Strand's podcast, he explains it.
Like to me, like I'm trying to write my own taxes off. You know, like I'm not trying to help some big corporation write their taxes off. So
But it's about the kids.
It is about the kids,
It's
but
about
then
the kids,
but then sometimes I think about like, what if I need that dollar sometimes? I do think about that sometimes. You know, I'm like, gas went up $1 a gallon,
And I donated.
And I donated.
That was $1. Bet I could have had another gallon.
Yeah, I could have
I
had
could
another
have had
gallon.
another gallon.
I
of
could have had
gas.
another gallon of gas, but instead. I
Instead,
helped some kid with
instead
cancer.
some
Instead,
kid with
instead I helped
instead
some
some kid is
instead
getting,
some kid
instead some kid that I don't know is getting treatment.
Yeah, like and I'm short a gallon of gas in my car. And this kid is out here getting treatment.
Dang it!
And I got no gas in my car.
Oh my gosh.
I feel that sometimes. I be thinking about
Dude,
that.
I appreciate the honesty. This is
Yeah.
a safe space.
Oh my
This is
god.
insane.
I be thinking about that sometimes. I'm a little stingy. I'm not gonna lie. When I
That's
say
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Noah, do you have any departing thoughts?
Departing thoughts.
Yeah.
I think what I would say, and it's kind of just a summary of what I've been saying, is just relax. Like let's all of us just like take a deep breath. Let's try this. Like, we are so stinking young. Let's just put our heads down. Let's get off of social media. Let's get some fresh air. Let's hang out with friends. Let's, tell our deepest, darkest secrets. Let's take a chance. If you're single, ask the girl out.
It's a sales funnel, dude. You just if you
just
ask so many,
yeah,
someone's gonna say
just
yes.
like
you ask 100. I don't care how ugly you are.
If you need a sign,
100,
shoot. Like, just shoot your shot. Like, just go for it. You're young. If you fail, it's okay. Learn, work hard, do things. And it's okay if you don't succeed right away. We're young. We're not supposed to have arrived. Like, we're okay. We can relax.
Well, I've loved this podcast, Noah. I definitely want you back.
Yeah, and thank you for being honest and vulnerable with us on this podcast. It's it's important, and we appreciate that.
You guys are awesome. This has been fun.
This has been great. Well, that's the podcast. Thank you for listening to the Young Adult Diary. If you found this helpful or anything, please shoot it to a friend, share it, or don't. It really doesn't matter.
Once again, even if you didn't find it helpful, still send it to a friend. All right, just share us. I really don't care if you like it or not. Share it, like it, subscribe it.
How many shares is it gonna take for you to start donating to?
Yeah, dude.
You know what? You know what?
Oh.
You know what? Actually, let's do this, guys. You guys get me all the followers to the point where when we have sponsors, okay, I will donate 75% of my portion of my profit.
Tom, if we get
Respect.
to 300 followers, all right, Tom, if we get to 300 followers within the next 2 weeks, you will donate $100. You will tip $100 at Oak and Bean.
I'll tip $10.
$10. Okay.
At Oak and Bean.
Tom,
I'll match.
Okay.
I will match.
300 followers, and
$20.
I will tip $10 at Oak and Bean.
And I'll match it.
to my girlfriend.
No. See, now you're too much.
I'm asking too much.
Now you're asking too much.
Okay.
When Dawson's girlfriend is not working, I will tip $10.
Right on.
Okay. All right. And for those watching or listening, my girlfriend is sitting over to my right. She is listening to all of this.
Jenna did not make my third. Jenna
Okay,
did not make my
all
third
right.
coffee.
Thank you for
So,
listening to the Young Adult Diary. We will see you next time.
Peace out, guys.
Later, y'all.
Bye.